What does paintball mean to me? That's a tough question.
Paintball means everything, really. If I can, make a life out of this, it's just like a dream come true, really.
It's a big deal. It is a big deal. I try and undersell it a little bit, act cool, but it's been in my family for God knows how many years. I remember being 6, 7 years old, being taken down to sight of my old man while he played.
It feels like freedom to me. It's the only word that I can use to describe it.
We'd been trying to go pro for a few seasons. We'd qualified in 2019, and then, pandemic, all sorts of reasons, couldn't go pro. So it was kind of a long time coming, and we were quite excited, and we knew it'd be a big step.
It's just been that step we've kind of always wanted, and we've worked so hard towards. So now everyone knows that they've had to step up their game. And granted, we had a bit of a shaky start to the season in pro, a bit of like a kind of awakening and our first sort of step in. But I think coming along, that was a good gauge for us in understanding how far we actually need to step up our game and what more effort we need to put in.
Most memorable moment of the season has definitely got to be the Friday of NXL at CPPS. We got there on the Thursday and we watched all the pro teams practice, and I was thinking, we're definitely not doing the same thing as these teams. We mercy ruled Camp Hamilton, mercy Tauntauns, and I think we got it right. Oh, well, that was pretty cool.
I just think the way the third NXL event ended was it was good. Even though we didn't win, it just showed what we could do as a team. And like teams of breakouts by, I never dreamed of playing against them, let alone mercying them.
First met the team in 2019 when they played the DPL in Germany, as we did with Breakout, and we liked the guys, we liked the energy from the guys, and it ended up that they're coming over to Belgium quite often to practice with us.
This season, for me personally, has probably been the most enjoyable time playing paintball. All the guys that play with are like my best friends, and it's just nice to enjoy these whole amazing experience that I have with those people as well, because that's why I do it.
1, 2, 3. While some people might sort of pigeonhole us and say that we can only run far, there's a lot more depth to the roster that we have, and we've got a lot more tricks in the bag.
I think it's the best thing that could ever happen to us, because people don't expect anything from us. They see us as just these kids who's come into this division. They don't really know much about us, but I think that's our greatest asset, because we haven't been on the spotlight for however long they have. So they're going to come in and we could either completely take them by surprise, or they could completely put us into the floor. But hopefully we take them by surprise and actually do win some games, because I do think we can compete.
I don't think we're going as an underdog. I think people know about us. They're aware of how we play. It's on us to adapt our game and be ready for whatever they throw at us.
Naturally, as much as we try and replicate how they play, we just don't. So I think that could be a benefit to us, but again, there's reasons people don't play like us in America, and perhaps it's because it doesn't work.
I think a lot of people are going to underestimate us, I'll be honest. I think a lot of people may be just going to sway and think, European teams aren't going to be able to compete over there. And I can say this right now on camera that we're over there to prove a point.
I'm not scared, I can tell you that. I know full well what it's going to take to actually compete over there and sort of bring it to them. And yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that myself and everyone else is going to put 110% in to show them what we're about.
I think I feel more pressure from the owner of the team, because I don't want to let him down. And I know that he's built this team up for years and years and years to get to this point. And being in charge of his team on the field, that's the pressure for me.
I don't really think that there's pressure. We can just win. Everybody expects us to lose, and that's why I don't feel pressure. We can just win, and I think that's what we do.
G2, yep.
Representing all the teams in Europe. It's going to be nice knowing that we're only one of the few teams out there from there, obviously playing in pro as well. Obviously to have that privilege, it's amazing.
I know there's Carnage and Tauntauns there, But the amount of pressure for us when we go out to World Cup is, because it's going to be like a clear as day comparison between European paintball and American paintball, and everyone says, how do the Europeans do? And well, that question is going to be answered, and we're sort of responsible for answering that question for everyone who's asked that in paintball.
I think it's massive. The last team to do this in England would have been Nexus 10, 12 years ago, but even then they only played semi-pro. So for these young kids, some of them have only been playing 5-6 years, to prove themselves and prove that they're good enough to play NXL Pro in America with the best teams in the world is massive.
Going pro was always a goal, ever since I started when I was like 10. So to actually do it and step out on that field and be playing against people you've watched for years, really cool moment.
Playing pro and like seeing these guys and playing against Americans, everyone's human. Meeting Marcelo this year was kind of an eye-opener, like the guy's real humble. But if I was just say a team that I'd really want to like meet and chat to, I'd probably say New Orleans Hurricanes, because they're much like us. They all work to be able to play paintball.
It's bizarre, you idolise these players for so long and then you go and you shoot paintballs at each other and they're just like any other person you've ever played paintball against. They're very good at it, but they're just another person with a paintball gun, and it's sort of normalised that having the opportunity to play them in France at the Nations Cup.
GB coming down that Dorito past Dorito 4 into the brick 50.
Having played from the age of 12, I've always kind of watched over NXL America and I've always wanted to play it. So there's teams I've watched like X Factor and Dynasty and Impact. I now finally get to say that I get to compete against them.
I think what I'm looking forward to is obviously playing with the team out there, but how big the event potentially is going to be. 650 teams plus, which is huge for the sport. And if that is achieved, what does this mean for paintball next year?
Actually just step on that pro field. Like the first time, the clock's counting down and you're about to play your first point, like your first breakout, I think, yeah, that's just where it sort of feels surreal.
I'm looking forward to getting on that field and seeing what we can do against the best teams in the world.
Regardless if I'm in it or not, watching the NXL World Cup finals would be a pretty big deal.
It's something I've always wanted to do. I told my old man since a kid that I'm going to be pro and you'll be watching me one day. So 10 years down the line, here I am. He finally gets to watch me on the biggest stage there is, competing against the best there is.
We wouldn't be where we are without the sponsors. They're the reason that we can compete, they're the reason we get these opportunities.
I'd like to give a massive shout out to Leds and everyone at Planet Eclipse for the work they do is honestly is the best. Without them, we couldn't be the best.
Shout out to GI, thanks for the support, the belief in the team, and always getting our back.
A big mention to Jersey Clinic. Every single year they have come up with a new design which looks unique from every other team.
Wear JT, shoot Eclipse, watch.